night. Early in the morning, face crushed from like a mud fight. Looky here.
Hey guys, so today we're gonna be installing the RPF ones. I got the new tires on it, but we also installed a new rear camber kit in the rear. So brand new VMS Racing. I mean, probably not the best brand honestly, but it was better than if you guys know RDT Motoring, do not buy from them. I've only had bad experience with their parts honestly. I still have their tow arms on my car, but the tow arms aren't gonna really do too much in the rear as far as braking. But today we're gonna start on showing you guys how to install the rear camber arms, how to adjust them, give yourself, they go about -4, -5 degrees of camber, so nothing crazy, but you'll see what difference it makes. So let's get to it. So these are gonna be your two different styles of upper control arms for your EG Civic. You got your OEM, no adjustability, and then you got your aftermarket adjustability. So these go about 5 degrees in camber. You're gonna unlock this nut when you wanna undo them, and then you're gonna just twist it in. You see, these are threaded. So you twist that thing in and it slowly shortens it. And the shorter this thing gets, the more camber you're gonna have. So the longer you make it, the more positive camber you'll have. So do whatever you want with these. These are very helpful. Do not get these. So these are the RDT Motoring camber arms I was talking about. I had one. I'll be right back. So the main reason I tell you guys not to buy these cheap adjustable ones is this exact reason right here. So you can see these are the exact same. This one got snapped. I was on a road trip to Seattle, aka the reason I was rebuilding this, if you guys follow me on Instagram. Speaking of which, thank you guys so much for 15K on Instagram. It's been a crazy year, and it's gonna be a crazier year this year, and really getting this YouTube going. But so yeah, I was on the way to Seattle. I was driving and there's 3 stumps in the road that fell out of, you know, whatever's truck. And I hit these because it's 9 o'clock at night, so I don't see them until I'm hitting them. You know, everything's driving fine for about, I'd say an hour, 40 minutes to an hour. And then randomly just smell burnt rubber, losing my mind. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Turns out I go to look, snapped clear right here. So, you know, this part was still bolted up right there, but it was basically sitting like this against the back of the chassis, and it was a mess. So that was quite the experience. Called the tow truck, quite the trip. I still got a video to edit of that, scrap it all together, but we'll see if that ever really happens. Just a quick note though, I would go with like a Skunk 2 Racing, just a reputable brand. Anytime you get upper control arms or a piece of the suspension that takes a good load. So I did the VMS Racing here, which you can see how they look. Very similar style to the Skunk 2, but I think they'll work for me. They snap again. I'm gonna go Skunk 2. I'm not gonna play with this anymore. So yeah, see you guys when we get the wheels on and fit it up. Just a tip for you guys: when you go to tighten down all these bolts to torque them down, you're gonna make sure that you're gonna jack up from the bottom here on the lower control arm, get it jacked all the way up to where the suspension is fully compressed, and then tighten these bolts down. It'll make sure your bushings last the amount of lifespan they should live, and it's just premature wear that shouldn't be there. So yeah, there's a little tip for you guys.
Isn't it strange how
Hey, good morning.
it's strange how often we forget we're
So just put the wheel on, and this is what I'm going to be showing you guys about working with your Fitment and how you're going to get your wheel to clear and all that stuff. So when we push the wheel all the way back, you can see just about how much clearance is up in there. Not a whole lot. So what we need to do, we're going to raise the car up a little bit, maybe add a little more camber if we need to, but yeah, let's start there, mainly raising it. The front's probably gonna have to be raised too, but I'll show you guys how to do it all step by step. Let's go. All right, so you're probably thinking, what am I gonna need? 14mm socket for all the upper control arm bolts, adjustable wrench to adjust the camber arms, 4-inch and 8-inch extension, 1/2-inch ratchet. You're gonna need the adjustable keys for your coilovers. You won't be doing that today. A 1/2-inch impact to make life easier. So we're gonna start by adjusting the coilovers. You're gonna take your 2 keys. The bigger one is gonna obviously go on top, adjusting more for lowering it. The smaller one is going to be to unlock the bottom and then to raise it up from this second lock right there. So I'll show you guys more in depth, but let's get to it. And to make lives easier on yourselves, you're gonna want to take off this shield, which is gonna be a 10mm bolt right here, and there's gonna be one back here. I'll show you guys in a second. But yeah, so just take this one off real quick. So it's kind of hard to show you guys. I'm gonna try my best, but it's right up in behind that right here, if you can see it. Once you get that out, it'll be a lot easier to adjust. So let's start adjusting. Alright, so once you get this unlocked, you're gonna spin it up a little bit just with your hand. You can see all that dirt coming up. All that dirt coming up is gonna cause problems later. So keep your wire brush with you. Just be ready to keep scraping it and getting it out of there, because like I said, you do not want to ruin these threads. Kind of defeats the purpose of a coilover. So be very careful what you're doing. Just take your time. Don't try and rush anything. It's a nice easy job, just takes a little bit of time. Really, when it comes down to it, fitment is really all about just patience and enjoying the job that you're doing, you know, because you got to get that fitment looking good, and you know, it's going to be probably 10 times, 20 times, 5 times if you get lucky. You know, you're going to have to keep raising it up and down and jacking it up, testing the fitment, see how it spins, turns. But it's the enjoyment of stance and track, you know. You got to fine tune everything, you know. That's why your car is unique to anybody else's. So yeah, just stay patient with the process, and you'll be happy with the final product, trust me. So it's worth it. So now, to adjust these guys, here's the small guy. You're gonna take the bigger one. You can't see. So here's the small guy, here's the bigger one. You're gonna take the small guy. There's a terrible angle. Grab it on there. Just twist it through. The whole thing will turn. Let that keep going up, and it'll actually kind of track how much you've raised it. So if you look down here, the more I'll raise this, you'll see, the more this will go up. So it'll kind of keep track of how far you've raised it, and you know. All right, so we've raised it. You can take a look at the threads. So we raised it a decent amount. So I'm just gonna spin this down, hand spin it down, tighten it with your hand. Then you're gonna grab your wheel and see how it fits. So this is the fitment part I was telling you about, where you know, you might do it 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, but you're always gonna have to keep testing until you get it exactly how you want it. So like I said, it's definitely just a ton of patience and staying consistent. But the more you do it, the more you'll kind of get an idea for exactly how you want things to be and where they need to be and how it looks when you have it in a certain way. So everything comes with experience and makes things faster, easier. You learn the little tricks. So just keep staying at it, and you'll be better than me one day, probably.
When I asked you to that dance, and all you had to say was your
What we've done so far, as you saw before, we opened up that gap way more. So I'm going to show you guys now how to test your fitment while your car's still in the air, so you don't have to keep jacking it up, putting it down. So yeah, let's get to seeing how it fits.
I'd really love to, but I'm dancing in this weekend. I could take you to this place that only I.
Dugga.
She said that doesn't really come as a surprise.
All right, once you got the wheel all bolted up, lug nuts on. And yeah, you only got to do them like, I just zipped them on there with the 1 power. You don't want to do them tight or nothing. Just enough to where you try and move this thing, it's not going anywhere, right? So now that it's completely fitted on, you can see how much gap we got up in there. But I'll show you guys what it starts looking like when we jack it up, and this is where the real fitment and clearance comes in. So I'll show you guys what's up. So basically what this is doing by jacking it up, you're seeing exactly how far your suspension travels. So if you take a look down here, again, be careful, but just make sure you're on a good jacking point of the car. So for me, I used right under the strut on the lower control arm to jack it up. Very easy point. But yeah, so this is fully compressed. You can see the clearance we got in there all the way through. So if you can see in there, it gets very tight, but that is the whole idea of fitment. Yeah. I know, surprising, right? I'm hoping it just washes it all out. Hey, see ya. So I made the mistake of buying 225 by 55 tires for these Enkais. They are way too big. I could not get them to fit at all, as you saw with the rear trailing arm. And it's only going to be more of a pain going up front with the whole steering radius being needed. But wait for this car to pass. I mean, I'm happy I was able to teach you guys a little bit about fitment and, you know, how you can adjust your own coils. So hopefully you guys can take that for what it is. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to finally get back on YouTube again and share something with you guys. So leave a like and comment something if you would. I would love to hear what you guys want to see next, or on the Civic content. I've got a lot of content planned for YouTube, but I want to hear what you guys want to see on the Civic and advice I could give, where you guys struggle. So I've had a few years of experience on these Civics, so you know, I think I can help you guys out. But thank you guys so much, and see you guys later.
Yeah, it's all